Hey there friends, I am Brian, and today we're going to be going over something just a little bit different than normal, but something that I still love. I'm a bit of a flashlight and knife and tool gearhead, I guess, but our friends over at THRUNITE sent me a really cool flashlight that I want to show you guys. This is the TN12 Pro. So this is a very high quality but budget friendly flashlight. This thing gets up to 2,000 lumens. It's very easy to operate. It feels very robust, feels very well made. And this is actually my first THRUNITE. I have a ton of Streamlights, some Coasts, Nebos, you name it. I've got pretty much every standard brand of flashlight you can think of, but this is my first THRUNITE. And so far I'm pretty impressed with it. Now I will be taking this out tomorrow, I believe, on a camping trip for me to actually use it in real world use, but you know, testing this out at night in the backyard, on my street, this thing puts out a great beam, and the battery life on this thing is amazing. So anyway guys, let me bring you a little bit closer and actually show you what's in the box and show you the functions of this flashlight and then give you some night shots of it. Okay, so here's the box that this little TN12 Pro came in. As you can see, it comes pretty nicely packaged, wrapped in foam. Pull out the actual goods, and here she is. This is the actual TN12. All aluminum, very robust knurling on the body of the flashlight. Got a nice push button mode switch, as well as a one function tail cap switch that I like to use probably more often than not than your actual standard push button switch, but we'll go through the functions of that. Again, this is the actual flashlight itself. And then in the box, you're going to get your standard operating manual. You're going to get a USB Type-C charging device. So I like that. It's not your micro USB, it's an actual USB-C that charges this guy. You're going to get a little baggie. You've got a lanyard that can hook on to the tail cap of this light. You've got an extra waterproof membrane for your tail switch. And that's it for what's in this bag. And you're also going to get a Velcroed nylon belt clip holder thingy. So nothing special about it. Got a little D-ring on the back here. There's no buttons or anything. You just have to literally put that straight through your belt, but it should get the job done and at least keep it protected if you throw this thing in your bag. And so it's just about the right size. You know, it's not bulky. It's not going to stick out on your belt if you do decide to use it on your belt, but you know, it's a nice added touch that they actually send that to you, I think. So let's get this thing out. You get a belt clip, and this belt clip is a dual belt clip. So you can either, once you put it on, and it fits right in this collar of the flashlight, but the belt clip, you can either clip it on your pants like this, or you can, you know, even put it on your hat using this side of the belt clip. You know, stick it on your hat and have it facing forward, stick it on your pants and use this part of the belt clip. So it's a multi-function belt clip, which I do like. It's tight, so it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna fall out by any means. It's a good quality looking belt clip, so not worried about losing that. Let's go through the functionality of this light and give you some specs. So I'm going to throw up on the screen here now the specs over this light, and you can screenshot it, pause it, whatever, but I'm just going to kind of go over all the specs of this light and all the different modes. So on turbo mode, you're going to get 1900 lumens, and you can, what's amazing about this flashlight is on turbo mode, you can get those 1900 lumens for 7 minutes, which is pretty remarkable considering most of these flashlights that have turbo modes that go up to 1,000 or 2,000 lumens, you get that for about 30 seconds to 1 minute and then it steps down. This thing will run 1900 lumens for 7 minutes. Once it steps down after 7 minutes, it's going to go down to 477 lumens for another 130 minutes of runtime. High, again, is 550 lumens, and you're going to be able to use that for 2.5 hours on a full battery. Medium is 220 lumens, and you'll get 9 hours of runtime. Low, you get 50 lumens at 46 hours of runtime. And the Firefly mode, which is kind of like just a tiny little night light if you're in a tent, you don't want to wake up people, that's half a lumen, and that thing is going to run for 37 days, okay? And it also has a strobe function, and that strobe is going to output 560 lumens, and you can get 4.5 hours of runtime on that strobe function. And so to turn this light on, if you want to use the switch function, you literally just press and hold. But if you want to change low to medium to high, you just press and hold this tail cap switch. Low, medium, high. Now this flashlight does have memory, so it is in high right now. I'm gonna cut this flashlight off, just press and click, cuts the light off. Wait a couple seconds. If I wanna go turn this flashlight back on, press it, and it starts off in high. Okay, if I want to put it on low, I press and hold, run through the cycles, let go on low mode, cut the flashlight off. Okay, wait a few seconds. If I turn it back on, it's going to automatically cut on in low mode. So you can kind of set it to the settings that you like. If you want to run this flashlight on medium all the time, like that, keep it in medium, and when you go to cut the flashlight off, and you go to cut it back on, it's always going to be on medium. You don't have to fiddle with going through a bunch of cycles to get to the setting that you like. So I like the fact that it has memory. There's a small LED on this switch right here. Okay, so on this switch right here, when you're charging it, when the battery is dead, it's going to be a red light in here, and it's going to look similar to this. And when it is done charging, it's going to have a blue light letting you know that it is fully charged. Okay, so, and it's going to look like this when it's fully charged. Okay, looking around here, the tail switch is probably my most favorite portion of this, because this is what I'm going to use. When I pull this flashlight out of my pocket, I typically hold flashlights in this fashion. This tail switch only has one function, and it is to go straight to turbo mode. 1900 lumens. So just a press, you can either lightly press it to turn it on, or you can click it to hold it on. So either a slight press, just a momentary, and it's going to stay on as long as you lightly press it, or you can click it and it's going to stay on. Turn it off. If you want to get to turbo mode on this switch, turn the flashlight on, and it's going to be a double tap, and it goes to turbo mode. To turn off turbo mode, just turn off the flashlight, one click, and then you can turn it back on. Now it's not going to go directly to turbo mode when you turn it back on. It's going to go back to your last setting, which was the low. And again, if you want to change it, press and hold, medium, high, low, medium, high. Okay, so that's in high mode now. I'm going to turn this flashlight off. If you want to get to firefly mode, which is a half a lumen, which is going to last you for 37 days. When the flashlight's off, you just press and hold the switch until you get a tiny little light. So press and hold, there you go. And it doesn't look like much now, but I'll show you this guy's at night. But this function is going to last for 37 days, over a month. If this is a full battery, you're going to get 37 days off of this guy. Okay, if you want to get to the strobe function, again, flashlight is turned off. We're going to turn the flashlight on, and it's going back to the high setting. You're going to triple click, 1, 2, 3. And I don't want to cause anyone a seizure, but just triple click and you're going to go to your strobe pattern. Single click and it's going to cut the light off. So that's how you get to your strobe mode. Very simple operation. There's not a whole lot of thinking about this flashlight, which I like. There's not a lot of settings you got to mess with. Again, this tail light switch is my favorite. Just simple press and hold, and it goes direct to turbo. That's the only thing this tail switch does, which I love, because that's what I use the most. I'm going to want a bright light, bright beam at something out in the middle of the night. I just grab it. I don't have to find the switch. Boom, I've got it. I can keep it turned on if I press and hold that and it clicks. And this turbo mode, again, is going to run for 7 minutes at 1900 lumens, and then step down to 477 lumens for another 130 minutes of runtime. So that is amazing coming out of this. This does have a lock mode, so if you want to put this in lock mode, if you're going to throw it in your bag and you're worried that the switch might get turned on and you run through your batteries if it's floating around in your bag, the easy way to turn the lock mode on is get it in firefly mode, which again, to do that, you just press and hold this side tail switch, get it in firefly mode, and to actually put it into the hold or lockout mode, all you do, again, is press and hold the side switch. And we're in lockout mode now. So when I go to hit the button, just the red light flashes. I don't know, you're probably not going to be able to get that on camera, but you can see that red light barely flash when I press and hold it. So that's meaning it's in lockout mode, so I can't do anything to this light. If I press the tail switch, you know, nothing cuts on. So to get it out of lockout mode, all you do is press and hold the side switch. Now we're out of lockout mode and this light will function as normal. Okay, so that's the basic functions of this light, folks. Just a really nice, get this out of the way, just a really nice, well-built, budget-friendly knife. It's $49. You know, I'm not getting paid. THRUNITE's not paying me for this, but I do think it's a nice flashlight. And here you got your rubber gasket. This is where you're going to plug in your USB-C port to charge the flashlight. Try to get that in good lighting. So you flip that cover up, and that's where you're going to plug in your USB-C. It does have a smooth reflector, if I can get that to focus. It's not an orange pill reflector. And according to the manual, you've got an SFT 41 LED chip in here. It is 6061 T6 aluminum construction. It weighs 85 grams, so it's not heavy. It's gonna fit in your backpack very easily. It's just an overall cool little light, guys. I really do like this light. To me, this light's just the perfect size to put in your hand, stick in your pocket, put it in your backpack. It's just a perfect little handheld light. So, guys, let's check out some night footage of this, because I know that's what you really want to see, is what this thing looks like at night with some of these beam patterns. So let's go check that out. Okay, there we got low. Let's go to medium. We got medium. Let's go to high. Okay, there's high. And just for giggles, and you can see how it's got a pretty good hot spot, but it also has a really good flood, a nice circle for the flood. So it's got a nice light. And then I'm going to double tap for turbo. Wow. There's your 2000 lumens. Cool.